Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel RK's Electric World. So in last lecture, I have discussed about the circuit element and their types under the fundamental of electrical engineering. So in today's lecture, we are going to discuss last point from the fundamentals of electrical engineering, that is conductors, insulators and semiconductors. So we are going to study the introduction part about these different types of the material. So first, let's start with the discussion of conductor. So what is the conductors? Uh, then what is the atomic structure by taking an example and application of conductors. This is the sequence for the particular all three types of the material that we are going to discuss. So first let's discuss about the conductors. So conductors are material that allow electric current, that is flow of electrons, to pass through them easily. So conductor is nothing but the material which allows to pass the electricity through them easily. So what about the atomic structure of conductor? Conductor have 1 to 3 electrons in their outermost shell, that is the valence shell. These valence electrons are loosely bound to the nucleus and can easily become free electrons. So these electrons that is available in the outermost shell, that is loosely bound to the nucleus, so easily become free electrons. These free electrons move randomly but start drifting in one direction when voltage is applied. These electrons is free electrons, but when we apply the voltage to that particular material, then it forms the electric current. So example of conductor, that is nothing but the copper. Atomic number of copper, that is 29, and electron configuration, that is nothing but the 2, 8, 18 and 1. So here outermost shell of copper consists of 1 electrons only, that is a free electrons. That free one valence electrons is free to move, making copper an excellent conductor. So what are the properties of conductors? So first one, that is high electrical and thermal conductivity, then low resistivity, shiny, ductile and malleable. So different examples of conductors, that are copper, silver, aluminium and gold. Then application, the conductors are used for electrical wiring, connectors, bus bar. So this is all about the conductors. Then let's discuss about the next material, that is nothing but the insulators. So insulators are material that do not conduct electricity because they do not have free electrons. So there is no free electrons is available in the outermost shell or valence shell of the insulator. So let's discuss the atomic structure. The insulators have 5 to 8 electrons in their valence shell. These electrons are tightly bound to the nucleus and need a very high amount of energy to break. So these electrons is tightly bound with the nucleus, that's why we need to provide the high amount of energy to break it. Then as a result, no electrons are available to carry current. Example of insulator, that is rubber. In a material like rubber or glass, the electrons are locked in covalent bonds and which prevent the flow of electricity. So there is no any flow of electricity happens in the insulator. What are the key properties? That is having the high resistivity, then pure electrical and thermal conductivity, then used for safety and insulation. Different examples of insulator, that is rubber, plastic, glass and wood. So what are the application of insulator? Insulators are used in wire insulation, switches and protective cover. So insulator is very important as a safety is taken into consideration. So this is second type of material. Now let's discuss about the semiconductor. So semiconductor are material whose electrical conductivity lies between conductors and insulator. their conductivity can be controlled or modified. So the semiconductors which is having the both the properties, that is insulating as well as the conducting property. So its conductivity is lies in between the insulator and conductors. So what about the atomic structure? Conductors have exactly 4 electrons in their valence shell. In a pure form, that is intrinsic, they are pure conductors at a room temperature, but with heat or doping adding impurities. Some electrons break free and create electron hole pairs, allowing current to flow. So there are mainly two types of the semiconductor, that is intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor. And the pure, that is the intrinsic semiconductors, they are pure conductors at a room temperature. But when we provide the heat or doping, doping means that if you add any impurities, that is p-type material or n-type. So some electrons break free and create the electron hole pairs, and which allow the current to flow. So example of semiconductor, that is silicon, which is having the atomic number is 14, and electron configuration of silicon, that is 284. So in the outermost shell of the silicon having the 4 electrons forms a crystalline structure where each atom shares its 4 electrons with the neighbors, that is covalent bond. When energy is supplied, some bond breaks, that is free electrons plus holes, and then conductivity is take place in the semiconductor. Types of doped semiconductors. So this extrinsic semiconductor is divided into the two types, that is n type and p type. So in a n type, added atom has a which atom or impurities that we are adding in n type of the semiconductor having the 5 valence electrons. So example of that impurity is nothing but the phosphorus, which adds the free electrons. Same as it is in p type of semiconductor, we are adding the atom which has 3 valence electrons, means that the material or material which is having atom which is having the 3 valence electrons in the outermost shell. Example is boron, which creates the holes, means that positive charge carrier is added here. So this is the two types of extrinsic semiconductor, that is n type and p type. So in n type we are adding the atoms which is having the 5 valence electrons, and in p type material we are adding the 3 valence electrons. Then what are the key properties? That is moderate resistivity. Conductivity increases with temperature. As the temperature increases, conductivity of semiconductor is increases. Controlled conduction using the doping. So that conduction can be controlled using the doping process. Example of semiconductors, that is nothing but the silicon, germanium, gallium arsenide. And what are the different application of semiconductors? The application of semiconductors, that is used in transistor, then diodes, solar cell, and different ICs. For that purpose we are using the semiconductor. So this is the basic about the what are the different types of material that is available. First one is the conductors, insulators, and semiconductor. So here we are concluding the first unit, that is fundamental of electrical engineering. Thank you. This is all about today. In next lecture we are going to start the second unit under the basic electrical engineering, that is nothing but the DC circuit. So we will discuss the whole syllabus of the DC circuit, and then we will start one by one. Okay.